Hello and welcome to a webinar on mitochondria and Nrf1 activation. My name is Dr. Gail Pearson. I'm a New Zealand anaesthetist and I'll be talking you through some science about the Nrf1 activation. So if we go back to high school biology days, we remember that the human cell has a lot of organelles in it. You'll see in the top left or the bottom left corner, there's a big purple circle. That purple circle is the nucleus. And the nucleus contains all the DNA, the chromosomes, and the genetic material. Previously, in a previous webinar, we've talked about Nrf2 activation to work on the genetic contents of the nucleus. But today, we're going to be focusing on the little bean-like structures, the little orange beans that are in the cytoplasm called mitochondria. And you'll see several of them just spread out around there. So a mitochondrium, which is a singular from the mitochondria, is a very complex organelle. It's got a double layer of membrane on the outside, and as you can see, it's got lots of infoldings because a lot of complicated biochemical processes take place here, and specifically the production of energy in the body. Where are the mitochondria? They're in every cell of the body except for red cells. And some cells have more than others depending on their function. Heart, for example, it functions very hard. It's got a high oxygen requirement. And so that have about 5,000 mitochondria per cell. So what do the mitochondria do? They're actually the powerhouse or the battery of the cell. And they provide energy to the cell so it can perform its functions, make enzymes, make proteins, tell the cell what it does, how to differentiate one cell from another. It provides signals to the cell to maintain cell cycles, cell growth, and cell differentiation. And it also regulates cellular metabolism. So how do they provide energy? Well, as I said before, complicated biochemical pathways. Basically, we take in oxygen when we breathe, we take in glucose when we eat. Those two are converted to a substance by the name of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the cellular energy source for our bodies. The only drawback to this is that in its production, it produces oxygen-free radicals as a byproduct. And oxygen-free radicals, we know, provide damage to cells which do not have the capacity or the capability of mopping them up. Now, mitochondria also have their own DNA, which is maternal DNA, and this helps provide cellular signals. So what happens when we damage mitochondria? Well, oxidative stress can come from a lot of things these days: herbicides, pesticides, Wi-Fi, psychological stress. These create oxidative stress, which means oxygen-free radicals going around in your body, damaging mitochondria, damaging cells. Mitochondria also break down with age. So as you get older, your mitochondria get a little more fragile. They become deformed. They don't function as well. They're not giving you the energy that you had when you were younger. So if we look at oxidative stress, if we get malfunction of the mitochondria, the DNA is also affected. It can mutate. It can produce different proteins. It can produce different enzymes, which creates further oxidative stress and cell damage. So basically here we've got a vicious cycle combining oxygen-free radicals formed as a byproducts, remember, of ATP or the energy, which damages the cells even further. So how can we repair and stop the damage to mitochondria? Well, we know that the Nrf2 has been scientifically proven that it works at the genetic level within the nucleus to create antioxidant enzymes. Enzymes such as superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione, peroxidase. Now these mop up the oxygen-free radicals and the oxygen reactive species, and they also will mop up the byproducts of ATP production. So all of the reactive oxygen species are neutralized, so we have less cell damage. What does Nrf1 do? Well, if you look at what Nrf1 is called, it's nuclear respiratory factor 1. It helps the cells breathe. It's basically the lungs for each individual cell. So if you look at a human body, we don't function without lungs. because they're what we breathe with, we take oxygen in with. And the mitochondria is the cell's lungs, in a simple way. It also opens the gate in the mitochondrial wall so that the Nrf2 can get in and have its antioxidant effects on the DNA of the mitochondria, as well as altering proteins to make sure that that cell replicates normally. And ATP production is increased. So clinically, what do we see? What do we see in terms of our body habitus, or what sort of effects do we see from Nrf1 activation? Well, because it supports and repairs mitochondria, it promotes healthy organ function. Because it's working at a cellular level, every cell is working at its maximum. So it'll increase your focus, less brain fog, it'll increase your concentration, your energy is increased, your sleep is better, your performance and endurance with physical exercise is improved. And it's also anti-aging because it supports the chromosomal integrity within the mitochondria. So basically your cells are functioning at peak performance. So what are the ingredients of Nrf1? Well, we've got coenzyme Q, which is actually made in the body, but it's an essential cofactor to make the ATP. Now combine that with the second one, lipoic acid. It supports cellular energy levels, stress response, and antioxidant defense mechanisms. Now, LAA, or alpha lipoic acid, helps turn glucose into energy that the cell can neutralize free radicals, and it protects part of the cells from those free radicals. Quercetin is a naturally occurring antioxidant. It's an Nrf1 activator that promotes mitochondrial biogenesis and helps prevent mitochondrial decay. The acetyl-L-carnitine is a mitochondrial booster, so it improves mood, learning, and memory. It increases endurance, increases recovery, and also helps transport the Q10 into the mitochondria. Grapeseed extract, we know that that's a powerful antioxidant and anti-aging compound. So let's see how we can target every cell in your body. Well, we've seen that the Nrf1 works at the mitochondria of the body, the powerhouse of the cell, the energy of the cell, the battery of the cell. Combine that with the Nrf2, which works at the genetic level to create antioxidant enzymes, and you have got a very powerful combination. The powerful combination of Nrf1 plus Nrf2 gives you a cell synergy that is second to none. Coming together, they come as a dual synergizer. The dual synergizer will give you the effects to promote maximum cellular health and well-being. So that means you're at your maximum in terms of health and well-being. And we've talked today about the Nrf1. The Nrf1 is a very important part of cellular health. And in combination with the Nrf2, using both together, that's when we can have the maximum, and that's the gold standard. Thanks very much today.